Okay, don't tell me if I'm wrong because I do that enough already. But the more I'm understanding the Bible and the more I'm understanding myself, that when everybody's heard that rules are made to be broken, right? Well, I just broke a rule. But it's not God's rule that I broke. They were going to throw away about 7 yogurts, right? After breakfast. And I was cleaning tables and, what do we do with these yogurts? We, setting them, we put them all on one table, right? And I knew that they were going to it was a table right next to the garbage, right? And I knew that they were going to throw them in the garbage. And it was fine, so if I took them, I put them in a bag, I carried them out, and most of the other, workers were just kind of looking like, I know, they won't get thrown away, right? Well, the staff members were like eyeballing me in a way that, some of them knew exactly what I was going to do with them, and that was to give them to people. Some of them didn't know. They just assumed that, oh, he likes yogurt, And I noticed that as I was putting him in the bag, there was a fellow who had missed breakfast, and they shut him down. No breakfast. And so I went out the back door. Because usually I would have went out the front door, and just blatantly said, anybody hungry? Yogurts, brother. But I know I went out the back door, and I deviously hunted this fellow down. And I said, hey, you like yogurt? And I was handing it to him. I was like, wait, do you really like yogurt? He's like, yeah. And I go, here you go, man. Here you go. So I broke a rule, but not God's rule. At least in my opinion, the way I feel with my heart. And as far as I know the Bible, I'm not very learned in it, but I'm willing to learn. And so, there you go. There you go. I mean, don't put me in a position where it's against the law to give people food that's planned to be thrown into the garbage. Okay? Because I will break the law. I will break the law smiling, blatantly, anticipating breaking that law. Rules, on the other hand, are made to be broken, apparently. That's what I've heard. And I see the rationality in myself to where that law, which is not a law, that rule is not a rule of God. It's there for a reason, just like NASA, how they apparently they returned everybody's phone call to let me know that the earth is round because NASA told them so. They won't return my calls, right? Just like how, eggnog, I found out. I love eggnog. I saw eggnog. I'm like, Christmas. Reminds me of Christmas. And I'm drinking it, and I sat next to the quote-unquote what's called the professor, which I heard some people don't really like to sit next to him because he says a bunch of stuff that they don't understand. And I'm like, I'd like to sit next to that dude. And so I sat next to that dude. And I asked him, I go, how do you make eggnog? And he's like, I don't know, you use eggs. And I was like, I'm going to figure out how to make eggnog, man. But he did know that it's dangerous as far as, because it uses fresh eggs. And he wasn't sure what fear exactly to connect with that, but it was some kind of a salmonella kind of thing, So, it's just like yesterday, a cup. I wanted to learn a new language, and apparently Spanish is one that's evaded me because it's everywhere, It's like, what the heck? I know Braille, but I don't know Spanish. So cup, as people were coming up to me and they looked learned in the Spanish language, I hold it up and say, what's this called? And I can't remember, but I heard like 3 different ways, like vata, I can't remember. See, it just escapes me, But there was 3 different ways, and so I was like, and that's the way I learned, to where I don't mind making mistakes. I don't mind asking the same question over and over again, because in that line, I asked 3 different Spanish people, or non-Spanish, Spanish people, and they gave me 3 different answers, right? 3 to 4, vato and vata, and I don't know. You guys know what cup is, I'll find out for sure, somehow. But I just keep on asking the same question, and then I'll start using it. I'll hold up a cup and say the word, and then if nobody looks at me and wants to cup, then it's obviously that's not a communication that's working, just like hey, who doesn't turn around and say when you hear hey? I think I found out that hey is children or child, right? And so when people are offended when they say hey, when they're told hey, it's like I got a name, rah rah rah, and it's like, well, maybe they know that they're being called a child, maybe they know, and they're just not willing to say, I'm not a child, I'm a man. Don't call me a child, right? But I don't know, I could be wrong. And to remind you, please don't remind me that, I'm wrong, because I do that enough myself. Appreciate it. And also I got a little bit of resentment, well, not resentment, but it's just, there's this fellow who reads the Bible a lot, right? And it's other people look to him whatever. Long story short, I have to stay away from him, because he's not good for me in my recovery, because I have not heard one single nice word out of his mouth. I found that he's quick to violence. Not only is he quick to violence, he anticipates bragging about this violence. As far as serving food through the window, and he says I overheard him talking to a group of people going, I smacked his hand because he reached into my window, and one fellow high-fived him, and they're like, I wish I would have seen that. Oh, violence, hit him, kill him, bash him. And I'm like, man, is this a guy that's a man of God? Maybe physically to certain people, but to me, that's not healthy for my recovery, okay? It's I don't even look at him anymore, because I just see him on a pile of bodies and high-fiving and fist-pumping and saying, I win, as he's got a Bible in the other hand, and they're going to assume that he's somebody to listen to, somebody to look up to. But I am further in my recovery, and I see, yesterday I saw a miracle. Today I made that miracle. That guy said he liked yogurt. And I said, you really like yogurt? He says, I really like yogurt. It's so I don't know. But I know that I do not know. There's the First Baptist Church. I love this place. It's very special to me. I mean, it's something I don't understand, but I don't know. And they don't, I don't experience fear of not knowing in there. They welcome fear. They welcome unknowing. They welcome questions. I mean, for God, I used to get in trouble in Sunday school for raising my hand and asking about dinosaurs. But this place, other people were raising their hand and they were being called on and not just looked over, it's so I could dig it. I could dig it, man. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's about, right? People going, man, I don't know. And it's not that they're trying to look for an answer by raising their hands. They just want to be verbal with the fact that I don't know, and it gives them power to be able to fall down. Like me, when I used to, say, hey, this thing says things, so deal with it. It's just like, I've confessed my sins all my life and didn't realize it until I was given enough power to recognize that I sin. And I can recognize sin. And me giving that fellow yogurt didn't feel like a sin. It felt like if I was given that yogurt and I had missed breakfast. And that's an undescribable feeling, because I've been there. I've lost everything. And it's a good thing. Because now, as I am filled back up, the emptiness isn't so empty. I found that I really don't need to fill my bag up with anything, because I've always been constantly just giving that bag away. You don't know, Shawn. You just said you don't know. That's okay. Today is a beautiful day. It looks like they're very busy drawing lines for me to see. It's art. I'm going to look at it as art. But they won't say that it's art. They'll say that it's, it's something else that's not bad. They know what they're doing. We were told, all of us were told, and silence is acceptance. In the rule of law, the commerce law, silence is acceptance. And I didn't hear you say anything. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go get my phone because it's been charging. And I found that I probably would be better off without that phone. As I learned that my support group has laryngitis. So it goes without saying, literally, I got to do this on my own. Be it literally, spiritually, digitally. Heavy duty, man. Heavy duty. So hang in there, Shawn. Bye.